I was told that these bills aren't about me. I was told that I am effectively one of the good ones. I was told that because the member from Derry couldn't tell I was trans just by looking at me, that meant that I was safe and that I wouldn't have been discriminated against under this bill. And by saying that I would be safe, that admits to everyone in this room that the enforcement mechanism being used is based on whether someone passes, purely based on their appearance. But appearance is not definitive proof, and it will result in the exact situations that I've warned about time and time again. Some women look masculine. Some men look feminine, not by choice, but just from their genetics. Because people look different. Some men have high-pitched voices. Some women have low-pitched voices. Someone's voice is not proof. Hair length is not proof. Clothing is not proof. Our bodies don't all fit into these categories, and that's okay. You can't use these arbitrary metrics because none of them work in the real world. That goes for restrooms and for every other scenario listed under this bill. If someone commits a crime in the restroom, arrest them, prosecute them. It doesn't matter if they're trans or not. The actions of individuals do not permit you to discriminate against an entire class of people and ban them from public life. That is, by definition, collective punishment. And lastly, I want to address the point that this bill isn't about me, because it absolutely is, according to the language written in it. It doesn't matter that I'm 7 years into my transition and haven't stepped foot in a men's room for all of that time. It doesn't matter that I've had bottom surgery. Because I don't have functional ovarian tissue, and because my SRY gene wasn't expressed in fetal development 24 years ago, none of that matters, according to this bill. I've gotten to know many of you in my first term as a state rep, and you might think that I am the exception and not the rule when it comes to trans people. But that's not true. I am, by most accounts, an average trans woman. Most of us are terrified to come out publicly because many people who've known us for years have never learned about our identity. Every person in this building has probably used the restroom with a trans person, and guess what? You were fine. You survived because nothing happened. Even when I go to the doctor's office sometimes, they ask me when my last period was to put on my chart after I've told them that I'm trans. If they can't tell, how do you think this is going to go? When a stranger says, "Oh, I think your voice was a little low-pitched," and tries to call the cops on you, it's not going to work that way. Congresswoman Nancy Mace is the one who led the charge on implementing a bathroom ban in the US Capitol building. And literally a few weeks after they instituted that policy, she followed a tour group that was just browsing the Capitol, enjoying their time. She followed them into the restroom and accused them of being trans, and she was wrong. This has happened so many times where there are going to be these false positives, and that is why this bill is unenforceable, plain and simple. Even attempting to enforce it creates so many privacy concerns and false accusations that it would only create an environment of fear for everyone who doesn't fit the stereotypical definition of masculine or feminine, whether they are trans or whether they aren't. Last time, I asked if you could prove that I am transgender, and I received no answer. Now I'd ask you, if you were accused of being transgender, how would you prove that wrong? Because that was what will happen all across this state if we pass this bill. And that is why the governor rightly vetoed it. That is why, once again, I am urging all of you to put this issue to rest by pressing the red button so we can focus on the actual issues that matter to our constituents. If I know that HB 1442 is one in a long line of bills, statewide and nationwide, that seeks to roll back non-discrimination protections for trans people, And if I know that I would also support increasing privacy in restrooms by having the door actually go down to the floor, and I think that would frankly be better for everyone involved, and if I know that these bathroom ban bills have been vetoed by Governor Sununu and Governor Ayotte 5 times in the last 2 years, and finally, if I know that passing this bill will only create an environment of fear and does nothing to protect any of our constituents, then would I now press the red button to sustain the governor's veto?
165 in the affirmative, 149 in the negative. The veto is sustained.